What's up, boys? Today we're going to be covering something a little different from the usual item openings and mechanic tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about placebo. Alright, now if you're not sure what a placebo actually is, here is the full definition for it, and if you'll notice, it actually says that the user experiences a benefit after experiencing the placebo. But in Rocket League, most people are talking about a negative placebo effect, which is actually defined as a nocebo. Now the nocebo is pretty much the exact same thing as a placebo, but you experience negative side effects rather than positive ones. Now Rocket League does have placebos and nocebos, but today we're going to be focusing on the nocebos and how to counter them potentially. Alright, with this little introduction out of the way, let's get right into the first placebo. The number one problem I see people talking about when it comes to placebos is the heavy car bug. This is something that I have experienced myself. It's something that never seems to fully get addressed or confirmed whether it's real or not, but I can say that I definitely know what people are talking about when it's mentioned. And luckily, I think I know a way to completely counter it. Now if you're on console, the only thing that you're going to be able to do is go into a custom game, go into a private match, make the private match, go to mutators, go to game speed, throw it on slow-mo. I usually like to give myself unlimited boost, hop in the game, and then just drive around for a bit. Make sure you're hitting the ball around plenty, trying to get reads that you would normally go for in game, trying to make sure you're spinning your car around as much as possible, try to go max speed, try to get as used to the slow-mo as possible for the whole entire 5 minutes. You don't have to do the full 5 minutes, but the longer you do this, the stronger the effect will be when you get in game. And once that 5 minutes is up, hop back in free play where it is normal speed and see if it feels any different to you. Now if you're on PC and you have Bacchus mod enabled, you can actually take this a step further. Open up your Bacchus mod, go to the current game tab, go to this first slider right here, and this is on game speed. I usually like to put it at about 0.300 or so, just close to that. And it'll change the intensity of the slow-mo for you. The slower the slow-mo, the stronger the effect, and the longer you do it, also the longer the effect. This is pretty much the only thing that I've found that counters the heavy car bug. If you guys know of something else that can counter it, please let me know, because I don't like doing slow-mo every time I get the bug, but gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, moving on. The next placebo is PC only, and it is caused by alt-tabbing. I've seen some people say whenever they tab out of their game and they tab back in, it feels like their game is much heavier and they have trouble doing things that they could easily do before. I've never actually experienced this one myself, but I did do some research to find out how to fix it. And all you have to do is go into your settings and on your input buffer, just change it and then change it back to whatever you have it on. I'm not really sure why this fixes it. I don't really know the details behind the scenes on what goes on with this. And if you have Bacchus mod, you can automate this by going into the miscellaneous tab and then clicking this second box here, reset input buffer after alt tab. This does it automatically for you, where you don't have to go in to do it every time. If you don't have Bacchus mod enabled, you'll have to do it manually, but this just makes it super easy. So the next placebo that I want to talk about may not actually be a placebo. It could have a little bit of truth to it. And that is the fact that some people think pro players spin faster in the air than regular players. Now there could be a little bit of truth to this. Pros have a lot more time in the game, they know how to rotate their car efficiently and how to do it all seamlessly, but there are a few things that you can do to make your car rotate in the air a little quicker. Now the easiest thing to do would be to go into your controls and up your steering and aerial sensitivity. This isn't going to make your car actually spin faster, but it is going to make the time it takes for your controller to reach the maximum speed that it can rotate your car faster. So essentially you can get up to 100% rotation speed faster, not necessarily spinning faster. You can also try lowering your controller dead zone. Having a high dead zone will make it to where your car could feel sluggy and turn slower. I definitely noticed a difference right here just by doing that. Another potential thing that you could try is binding air roll right or left if you only use regular air roll. I have found that using regular air roll seems to feel a lot sluggier and gross compared to directional air rolls. And I know a lot of pros and high rank players are switching over to directional air rolls, so don't knock it if you haven't tried it yet. And the last thing you could do, and this is PC only, is get a square dead zone. This is a Bacchusmod plugin that I have that shows what kind of dead zone I'm using. Square dead zones allow you to go all the way up into the corners and go all the way to the side, where a circle would only let you go to about right here, and then it's kind of hard to show it, but it doesn't reach the full amount. So a square dead zone will actually let you rotate faster than a circle dead zone. I have used a square dead zone for over 3,000 hours now, and I could never go back to a circle. And the last placebo that I want to talk about today is one that I'm sure a lot of you have felt before, and it is one that I have definitely noticed, and that is that animated decals and flashy wheels make your game feel slower and heavier. Now, I did a lot of research on this one, and the only thing that I could find was that potentially these animated decals and wheels put heavier load on your computer or console, resulting in a loss of frames, which would lead to some input lag. So I did a lot of research on trying to see if there was a way to fix this. I tweaked a lot of things, and honestly, nothing worked. Except for one thing, and that is taking the decal off. Yep, unfortunately, the only thing I could come up with is simply do not use the things that make your car feel heavy. Switch things around a lot, try a bunch of different presets, try a bunch of different wheels, see what feels best to you, and then just stick with that. It is unfortunate that you're going to miss out on some things that you might think are cool. Maybe someone else will have a fix in the comments for animated decals and stuff, but that's the best that I have, unfortunately. Alrighty boys, that is going to do it for the placebo or nocebo video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned some new stuff, and I hope you learned some ways to fix your placebos. If you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you in the next one.